Okay, great. Greeting, everybody. I hope everybody's had a wonderful day. And thank you guys for logging in today for our second part of I Control My Life. It is huge, ladies and gentlemen, that we are here tonight because we're going to be talking about being a servant. Just be a servant. What does all of that look like? Where does it go? We're going to dig deeper into that. And I'm very excited about it. First of all, I want to thank everybody for logging in today from wherever you are around the world. Thank you for spending the time with us on this evening. We will not be long tonight, actually, but we're going to go through something I think is very important and very critical in terms of continuously controlling our lives and everything that we do. And that's talking about being a servant, being a servant. See, there's a lot of things that go into being a servant. It's not just simply, I'm a serve, but there's a lot of things that go into it, and we're going to talk about those things tonight. But this is the second part of the actual overview or 10-part series that a good friend of mine, business partner, associate, friend, mentor, multi-millionaire, just all of those things Mr. Sanborn put together because we saw a need, not just a want, but we saw a need to help people control their lives. It doesn't matter. I heard him say this on Sunday. It's so very true. It doesn't matter who's actually in office of the presidency. It doesn't matter who's doing what. But we have to focus in on ourselves. So many times we don't focus in on ourselves, but we focus in on everything else and allow things to become a distraction from the goals and the visions and the dreams that we have. So now, today, and going through these series, these 10 different things that we're going to talk about over the next few weeks through the leadership of Mr. Orm, we have to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that we are at the tip top of our game. We have to make sure that we are the ones that people have been looking for to lead them through everything that they're talking about and discussing. See, it doesn't matter what happens to your right or to your left, but long as you have what you need to do and the people that are assigned to you, that you're blessing them, trust me, it will come back to you 7, 10, 1,000-fold in your life. What I wanted to do first, though, is actually go back through the 10 steps, if you will, of the I Control My Life series that we're going to be doing. It's no set order, but I just wanted to make sure that we had these 10 specific principles that were dug up by our leader, Mr. Orm, and then now also we want to share this with the world, okay? So the first thing is, number one, keep God first in all that you do. Keep your Creator first in all that you do. That's your spiritual side. Well, we're not going to get into that tonight, but just keep God first in all that you do. You own your own business. Owning your own business. When you own it, now you can set the rules. You can set the atmosphere. You can set everything around it. Number 3, do business with people that do business with you only. Do business with people that do business with you only. Everybody don't believe in that, but I think that's critical. Live authentically. So we're not going to go into that, but just do you, but live authentically. All right. Number 5, we're going to talk about tonight, be a servant. Number 6, live with peace and love. Live with peace and love. Number 7, a healthy living. It doesn't matter how much you accumulate here on earth. It doesn't matter how many millions or billions of dollars you create. If you're not healthy, I'm telling you, it's going to be a struggle. And I'll give you a quick example of that. Have you ever had a headache? I mean, a real headache. And it's like there. Or you ever had sinuses and it's like you're not thinking about anything else but how can you get some kind of relief. And it is just, how can you get some type of relief from that particular sinus or that particular headache? So those are the things that we're looking for when we talk about healthy living. So we'll be able to live and understand and be in a wonderful position to continue to allow our health to be optimum and just exciting. Number 8, each one teach one. Mentorship. I think this is huge. I'm not going to go into this, but I think this is huge. The whole mentorship, it is just phenomenal. I think it's incredible. Number 9, show up every day and bring your best. We just talked about that on Sunday, showing up every day and bringing your best, and it was powerful. It was powerful. As a matter of fact, guys, if you can, just go back and review it. I mean, there's some nuggets even I missed when I was taking notes. It is just simply powerful. And number 10, controlling debt by applying 10-10-25-55. Controlling debt by applying 10-10-25-55. As we know, Mr. Orm said he's going to actually do this one himself, and I'm very excited about that. Because, guys, think about it. If we control our debt, there's a whole bunch of stress that's already released just because we're controlling our debt, all right? So I'm excited about that. So let's get ready to get into the next part of what we're going to be talking about tonight, and that's being a servant, okay? Let me take a swig of water, and then we're going to get right into being a servant. Okay, great. Excuse me. Now, when you talk about being a servant, you're talking about servants who lead, and those traditional individuals and thoughts that typically come out is traditionally leadership meant I'm on top because I lead you. That just sounds selfish, but typically that's what people were saying. I'm on top because I lead you. Servants who lead and servant leadership flips that on its head. It's about me serving my employees, not them serving me. Do you guys see the difference? It's a huge difference. It may be just a slight few of words, but it's a huge difference. I mean, it's a psychological shift even when you read it, because somebody's actually looking out for your well-being. It's about people who work with you and not people who work for you. So in that sense, it's a paradigm shift. It's just a total shift that means looking at leadership with a different set of lenses and saying, I'm here to make these people live better. I work for them. Or, as I like to say, I am here to serve them. You're here to serve them. Now, typically we get into service and people just say, oh, yeah, I'm a servant, or I serve people, or if I'm a waiter, I serve people every day. But, you know, sometimes when you serve people, or you at work, if you will, and you are a server, sometimes you're not in that energy or in that space or in that love field, if you will, to serve people. So now it becomes an obligation. There's a difference between service and obligation. Well, in that sense, if you don't want to do something, but you do it anyway and you just discuss it, you're just doing it out of obligation, but you're not doing it with a servant's heart. You're not doing it in love. So the first thing we're going to talk about, I have about 17 of these different types of characteristics that go into being a servant. Is the first one I think about is very, very powerful, is the heart. We have to have a heart to serve, period, bar nothing. If our heart is not pure, and if our heart is not open, and we're not focused on serving, then everything else falls out the wayside. I was just using this as an example with the actual waiter, right? If a waiter go in and is having a bad day or a bad night or a bad moment, and you walk into the door and you don't feel like being there, and it's just one of those days, and it seems like everything went on, and it seems like you got out of the cab or the Uber or the Lyft, and it was raining, and when you were walking there, somebody hit a pothole and water splashed on you, and it just your day just was not right. You walk in, you're wet, you're cold, and you know, you walking in and you have this supervisor that's telling you got to hurry up, and we got this and we got that, and everything just seems to be out of whack. So now when you go and you quote unquote served your first table, unfortunately, you're not there with a pure heart. You have everything else on your mind, and you're just strictly doing it out of obligation. Now, on the other hand, there are some people that remove all of the negativity. out of the way, regardless of what happened and what's going on. They have the innate ability to just move out of the negativity and move into a positive space to now when they go to the table, it is just as if they just woke up on the greater side of the pillow and everything was happy-go-lucky when he went to work, and now they're there just to make your day that much better. And that is what we're calling a servant who have a servant's heart, because he's doing it with the purest intentions. He's focused strictly on serving you. He's being very open to it, and that's very exciting. Now let's look at the next one. Listening and comprehending. Again, a servant, this is important. As a servant, it is an absolute must to be an excellent listener, also while comprehending everything the individual needs that we are serving. Now, let me give you an example, because a lot of times we think, I'm so excited about this one, and there's so much I want to say, but I'm going to kind of keep it short. So when you talk about listening and comprehending, there's two separate things, but I combine them into one, because a lot of times people will say something to someone, they hear them, right, but they don't comprehend them. So for an example, okay, today, so at a fast food restaurant, this is funny, at a fast food restaurant, and asked the lady behind the counter for number one. So the lady was like, okay, you want a number one. Now, number one comes with, let's just say, fries, a small fry, a small drink, and, I don't know, a chicken sandwich, right? So that's the number one. So the lady turns back and say, do you want the sandwich or do you want the meal? Here's what I'm saying. She heard me, but she was not listening to what I said, right? Now, it is just that simple. How do we take this to the next level as a servant? It's simple, because when you are there, you're focused in strictly on what that individual is talking about. You're not going anywhere. You're in the present moment. You're staying right there. And when you stay right there, you're focused in on what that individual is saying. If he say he wants a number one, you get him the number one, and you move from there. Unfortunately, a lot of times I see people are disqualified because not just because they don't listen, but because they're not comprehending. It's not that they don't have the ability, it's just that they're distracted or they're not focused in on what is going on in that moment. So what happens as a servant, what we do is we listen intently. We are right there. What did you say? You want a number one. Okay, great. And we ring up a number one because we listened to what they said, we comprehended what they said, and now we're following through on what they said. And now we become very clear on that situation. But if we do it the other way, and we're looking around and looking at people and what did you say and hi, and you have all of those things, that's when you get orders wrong, or that's when you give wrong information, or you hear things, the opposite way, or you don't hear what your wife or your husband say. That's where things begin to go in the negative direction. So again, as a servant, we must be a great listener, but also be able to comprehend what we have just heard. Okay? All right. The next thing is language. Oh my. I can't remember his name. I think it's Dale Carnegie, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it's Dale Carnegie. He created a series about, let me make sure I get this right, how to influence people and win friends, or something to that effect. I may have the title wrong, but basically it was about language, right? It was about language. See, when you serve individuals, our language must be at the highest level of 1, gratitude, 2, love, and 3, support. It has to be at that level, because our language has the ability to create things. It's just that powerful, right? It is literally just that powerful. A lot of times I share this with my dad. Something would happen. It can be anything. you have to go get new brakes on your vehicle, or you got a flat tire, and then something else come up the next day, and I don't know, the shelf fell in your room, and you got to fix that, and then the next day, something else happened, and all of those things. And I would hear my dad always say, like, as soon as the tire was flat, he would say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. All right? Now, he just didn't realize, he just used some language now to allow, whether you believe in the universe or you believe in a creator or a God or whatever it may be, now you allow things to start in motion for that to happen again and for that to happen again. So our language is very important on what we do, one, for ourselves, and then two, when we're serving individuals. Just because, and I'll go back to the waiter or waitress, right? When you're serving someone, you can go to the table and say, hey, can I take your order? And it's just like, wow, what happened to him? Or you can go to that particular table and say, hello, how are you? Glad you're here with us today. May I take your order? Do you see the difference? It was the same words, but it was totally different. It was because it did not come out with gratitude and love, and that you were there to support or to serve them. It was just like, yeah, why are you here? That's what one person was saying, and another person was saying, hey, I'm glad you're here. I want to make your experience excellent. So what can I do to help make your experience excellent? So our language is very important. Also, when you're talking to family, friends, loved ones, associates, unknown individuals, strangers, whatever they may be, make sure that we engage them and focus and stay in the moment when we're speaking directly to them. Why do I say that? And I'll give you a quick example. There's a young man that owns and operates a particular establishment. And I went there today, and I was just speaking to him in kindness, with gratitude, with love, just there to, hey, I'm here to support, I need this done, but I'm still here in gratitude, love, and support. And we began talking, and he began to help me for things that I needed to get done on the actual car. When we got it done, you know what he said? He said, hey, listen, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this. This is what you need. We can rebuild this at no charge. And I tell you what, at the end of the day, he saved us about half of what it was going to cost when we first went there. Now, some people may say, well, okay, that was just somebody being nice. But imagine if my language would have came in and talked down to him, and just belittle him and just look at him like, oh, you're just a mechanic. I don't care about you. Just fix my car. Imagine what my bill would have been, right? So I share with you guys, regardless of where we're going, who we're talking about, our language is critical. And our language can move people into actions that we never even assumed that we would get. It's just like the car today. I never thought I would get such a tremendous opportunity to be blessed and have a tremendous break and a big, big discount, right? But that happened, and that was all based on the language that we shared with that individual. Next one, patience. Oh, my. Patience. Patience as a servant, because to be a servant, you have to be patient, period. It is just that important. As a servant, you must be patient, period. You will have days where you may be serving someone, and I'll go back to the restaurant. You may be there and you're serving someone, right, as a server, and as the server, you may go there and they have one child or two children or whatever. It's a family outing, and you're going there, and this is just an example. And you may go there and you bought the French fries, and then you say, okay, great, you need anything else? No, we don't, thank you so much. And then they call you back, and it's like, can we get some ketchup? Okay, here's the ketchup. Or you leave, you call back again, can we get some mustard? And then you leave and you come back, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. Now, you can do one or two things. You can lose your patience and snap and then go against what we just talked about, language, or you can continue to hold your patience Keep your patience. Because remember, patience is a virtue. And someone with patience will always be with us all the time. Here's what I'm saying. If you have patience, right, remember, someone had patience with us. So remember to pass that along as you're going on your journey. Even in a restaurant situation, as you continue to be patient, imagine now what may happen because now you have helped that individual see something different. Because they may have gotten someone that was not patient and was just like, look, I'm going to just bring the whole everything here. And they may not need steak sauce. They may just want ketchup. But because they were not patient, they just bought everything and just made it more of a mess. So patience is very, very important. And we want to make sure as we serve individuals, as we serve society, that our patience stay at the top level. Bring it down, stay patient, and remember, we are there to help, assist, to serve those individuals that we come into contact with, all right? Putting others first. Servants will always put others first. When you talk about putting somebody first, mothers, you guys do this a lot. Fathers, you guys do this a lot. When you have a child, all right, when you have a child and a child may come and you see that they're hungry and you're hungry too, and you might have this hamburger that you've been dreaming about all day from work or all day at business, and you just got off the plane and you just got this specific hamburger from your favorite place, and you drive home and your mouth is watering because it was made specifically just how you want it to be made, and you just thinking about when I go home, I'm gonna put down my stuff and I'm going right to the kitchen table and I'm just going to enjoy this hamburger. And then all of a sudden, here comes your son or your daughter running through the door saying, Mommy, Daddy, I'm hungry. And you're looking in the kitchen like, we don't have any food cooked at this time. And they're like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. I've seen mothers and fathers do this countless times. Give them the hamburger. You know that one you've been dreaming about all day? But they gave the hamburger to their son or to their daughter because they have become a servant for that individual because they have put that individual before them. Put them before their needs. I've seen leaders, top leaders. I've even seen our founder and CEO, Mr. Sam Orr, for our company. I've actually literally seen him give up his seat for other individuals. I've also seen him open the door for people. Now, I know that sounds crazy and that sounds kind of foreign, and I think a lot of people have lost that love of people, but I've seen him serve a tremendous amount of times. Regardless, I've seen him be in meetings, and I've seen him help people that couldn't help themselves, if you will. I've seen him help people in hotel staff. So if someone at the caliber of Mr. Orm can actually take those steps, we can as well. As a servant and having that servant mentality first, and you begin to put others before you, I'm telling you, it will make all of the difference in the world. A servant will be selfless in their actions with putting others first and making sure they are victorious. That is powerful. That is powerful because we want them to be victorious, all right? I can go on and on with this one, but I'm gonna keep going. No judgment. Oh, my. I know I can't see this, and I know everybody can't really respond, but I wanted to ask you guys a simple question. How many of you judge every single day? Just think about that just for a second. How many of us judge every single day about something? It can be about anything, but we judge every single day. Whether we judge on what someone have on, we judge. I give you a perfect one. A lot of people judge this one. You see someone a young guy, walking down the street, and he have his pants halfway behind, halfway down. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And immediately we get frustrated. Now, maybe not all of y'all, but let me just talk about me. Immediately I get frustrated, and the first thing I'm like, pull your pants up. Why are your pants hanging down? Now, I never took in consideration that his belt may have broke, or his buckle may have broken, or his pants, to fasten his pants, that may have broken, or his zipper may have broken. I never took that into consideration. I immediately began to judge him and jump to a negative side and just thought like, why do you not pull your pants up? That's judging, ladies and gentlemen. Let me also share this. Do you realize if we collectively, all of us, stop judging, do you realize the amount of stress that it would remove from our life? Because every time you judge, you look at somebody and you physically got to make a conscious decision to say something negative about that person every single day. So what I say is, let's stop judging. Because here's what we think about this. If the truth be told and the judgment ghost comes and shines a light on our lives, we would never, ever, ever again in life thinking about judging anyone because we know what we've been through, right? If you just think about that for a second, think about what you did that wasn't so cool today. Think about what you did that wasn't so cool last week or last month, on and on and on, right? Remember, we as servants must continue to stay positive and uplifting. Now, in that same situation, instead of judging, what about making sure that young man was okay? And then asking him, does he need a belt or anything like that? Just making sure without judging. That will release and remove a lot of stress, a lot of frustration, a lot of tension, because we are not judging. So as a servant, we never judge regardless of what situation we're put in. We just don't judge because we're there to serve with the purest of intentions. Okay? Authentic. Living authentic. I'm not going to go too much into authentic because I know we have a session and a webinar that we're going to be doing about living authentically. So I don't want to go too much into this, but I'm just going to keep it very simple. It's very important that we are of undisputed origin when we are serving individuals or our society. A servant must be genuine at all times. Have you ever seen somebody that just wasn't genuine, even when they say thank you? Have you been in a situation to where I use the waiter and waitress again, where they come to your table and they're just not authentic. They're just not genuine. They're there. They don't want to be there. And you say thank you, and they're like, yeah, all right, you're welcome. Or they don't even respond. There's no genuineness there. Listen, we have to be that light as a servant. We have to make sure that we are genuine, all right? We have to also make sure we don't make individuals uncomfortable as servants because of us not being authentic or not being genuine. If we do that, then we're not serving anymore. Again, now we're becoming, just standing there, and this will become an obligation instead of doing it with a servant's heart. All right? Humble. Please be humble. You have to stay humble. Servants are very humble. They never brag on themselves or boast about anything. A servant actually will lower themselves just to lift the person they are serving. Here, I'm just stay on this whole little waiter and waitress. If you think about this waiter and waitress, you think about sometimes you may drop your napkin on the floor, right? And you'll see a good waiter or waitress. They'll pick it up. Not a problem. That person literally and figuratively have lowered themselves so far to actually pick up the actual handkerchief so that you can stay where you are. That is a powerful thought. If you think about this, how many times today, last week, last month, have you humbled yourself to a point to where you lifted someone up, regardless of what it was? How many times can we do that? A day, a week, a month, a year, just to lift someone up. I'm going to share something with you. It's kind of personal, but I remember recently that I missed the opportunity with our fraternity to actually go and feed the homeless, and I was very, very upset. I couldn't get there in time. I tried, and those of you guys that live in and around Atlanta know some days you get a bad accident and you're just on the interstate for at least an hour, 2 hours on the interstate. And I tried, I just couldn't get there. And I was so upset because I wanted to go and serve those individuals with less opportunities. But I'll never forget, I had a conversation with my mentor about it because I was destroyed. I mean, I was literally just destroying my own self. Like, how could you miss this? What are you doing? Where are you going? And I was just totally upset. And I'll never forget, he told me, he said, if it means that much to you, humble your own self, do it yourself, and go out and serve those individuals. And you guys, believe it or not, it never dawned on me to go another day. For whatever reason, it never dawned on me to go another day. Why? Because I think humbling yourself and serving individuals to a point to where you're lifting that person up is very important. So now, of course, you guys know that I have something in my mind that we're going to do just that, because I think it's important to continue to serve. All right? Empowering. This, I think I almost like broke down when we were talking and writing this one. This is just powerful. Empower. Can you empower someone? Oh, I'm gonna just read because I can feel myself getting excited. And serving makes someone stronger or more confident, especially in controlling their lives and claiming their rights. Think about this. You as a servant, you empowering somebody to make someone stronger and more confident, especially when we're talking about the series that we're doing now, and controlling their lives and claiming and allowing them and helping them claim their rights. As Mr. Orman have already put together, he's creating a movement to empower poor and or individuals that want to control their lives. Listen to these words. Just listen to the depth and the power when you have a servant's heart and you're doing the empowering of others. Collectively, we want to emancipate. Let that sit for a second. We want to unshackle. See, a lot of times we hear words and we think about other stuff, but how much of us or people around us or people we love, or let's look in the mirror, ourselves need to be emancipated or unshackled. We want to set people free in the truest and purest form of the word free. We want to liberate. When we serve others in this way, it pleases them and it pleases your Creator. See, when you empower somebody and you're unshackling them and allowing them to be free as a servant, again, you're lifting them because your help and your assistance to empower them also began to unshackle their minds and their eyes and their vision to see so many other great, wonderful, and exciting things. So many of us have literally not been empowered for so long that we have literally put our dreams and our visions and our goals on the shelf. I had a conversation today with I'm not going to call her name, but I had a conversation today with a particular young lady, right? Very, very polished, very, very powerful. As a matter of fact, she just got a promotion at her place of employment. But when I spoke with her, she was like, Stanley, I don't want to be here for the next 20, 30, 40 years. I mean, yeah, I got to pay bills, but I don't want to, basically be there. And we began to converse. And in our conversation, I can literally hear her tone changing to where she wants to continue to be empowered, but not only be empowered, to now where she's going to go out and start to empower others. See, that's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of times people want to rush things, but that's where we're going. But someone has to take the time to begin to help each one, teach one, as we talk about in the 10 steps. But we have to teach each other, right? So we can teach somebody else, and they can teach somebody else. And it continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. See, but if you become selfish and don't empower, I have a saying that it simply says, how many people's blessings are attached to you? If you fail, or let me just change that word for tonight and say, if you be selfish, then how many people behind you will be selfish? Or how many people behind you will fail? If you think about that, that's how powerful you are as an individual. Not the person to your right or to your left, but I'm talking about you as an individual. All right? Talking about trustworthy. A servant must be trustworthy. That just goes without saying. The definition of trustworthy is able to be relied on as honest or truthful. Other words, a servant who is trustworthy may receive is reliable, dependable, upright, virtuous. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Unimpeachable. Think about that. Unimpeachable. So, guys, look at ourselves in the mirror. We collectively, being a servant, can we live up to these characteristics that we have laid out for us? Absolutely, we can. But we have to keep going, and we have to believe in what we're doing and where we're going. Loyal. Well, loyal is simple. It's simple. It's just simply saying, I got somebody's back regardless. Period. End of discussion. That's it. Period. End of discussion. Even when let me give you a police story. Some of you guys know I had the wonderful opportunity to be a police officer for, I think it was 7-8 years. I don't remember now, but just for a while, right? I did everything in the police department except the SWAT team, and I was one step under the SWAT team on what they call a major crimes task force. So we did everything with the exception of all of the toys the SWAT team had. Okay, great. Well, I remember I had a particular commander, right? And we were in this special unit, and we had weekends off, believe it or not. We had weekends off, and the commander was like, well, we see when we're off, crime in this particular area goes up on Saturday morning. So what we want to do is extend that and work on Saturday mornings. And it was not long. It was maybe like 7 to 12. So 8 to 12. It was very, very short amount of time. And for those individuals that was excited, it was also overtime. So it was not a hard gig. It was something we could do. But I remember the unit started a petition and said, hey, we don't want to work on weekends. And they started this position within our unit. And, you know, the commander and I were close. As a matter of fact, we were very close, very, very close. He taught me a lot about the police world. First supervisor, on and on and on. I mean, he taught me everything. So when I was in his unit and they started passing us around, I'll never forget, I was standing outside. We were about to get into the car. And I was standing outside, and the guy came running out and said, Stanley, wait. Hey, what's going on? And he explained to me, like, you know, we don't want to work weekends, and we're going to bring this to the captain who's over our commander, and blah 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 blah, because we just don't want to work these 4 or 5 hours. And I was like, I am not signing that. Period. I'm not signing that. Why didn't we sign that? Now, yeah, I wanted the weekends off again. I definitely would love to have, you know, Saturday and Sunday off. That was wonderful, working 5 days a week, weekends off. It was almost like as if we had a normal job, right? But the loyalty I had for my commander outweighed having weekends off. Y'all understand what I mean? So that's just a small example. I'm sure on this line, you guys are extremely loyal. I don't know where people are calling in from around the country, around the world, but I'm sure everybody is loyal on this line. But that is important. When you're serving people, you must be loyal. And you must be loyal and have an open heart or open space or open energy or open mind to allow things to come. So now it is just the individual that's going to share information with you. Know you're going to be loyal and keep that secret or keep that prize or whatever it may be. I hope that makes sense to you. Engaging. When you engage people, engage them. Don't engage them and 15 other people. Just engage them. That means staying in the present moment at the present time because you're engaging that individual directly. Once you finish engaging that individual, then you go to the next individual and engage. But servants always engage the individual that they're talking to. And you, me, and everybody on the line are excellent engagers. But we must continue to remain engaging, if that makes sense. We can't engage them for 2 minutes and then leave, and then all of a sudden you forget everything they said or talking about. But we must continue to be engaging. All right? Give. Giving comes natural to some people, and to other people, it doesn't. A servant is able to give a person without saying a word by the energy they yield. See, sometimes you don't have to physically give something. You can give somebody peace. You can give somebody something else that they never expected. You can just remain silent and still and give that individual the peace that they needed at that moment, to whether it's make a decision, to whether it is just to come down, to whether it's just to take a break, or whatever it may be. You can give a tremendous amount of wisdom to an individual, but it must be at the exact and proper time, because you can't give something out of the wrong time. You have to give it in the right time. So whether you're giving of money, whether you're giving of time, resources, wisdom, whatever it may be, a servant is a giver at heart. Ask yourself, are you a giver at heart? Because a lot of times we think we're givers, but we give, as they say, grudgingly, or we give mad, and I don't want to do that. I'm not here. You know, again, then it becomes an obligation. So give genuinely. As a servant, just give genuinely. All right? Encouraging. Encourage the individual. Encourage society. I heard Mr. Orm say the other day he was talking about the president-elect Donald Trump, and he was like, as the individual, he's like, you don't necessarily see eye to eye with his policies. Okay, that's great. He said, but I want him to be successful because that would help all of us be successful. He then went from, I don't see eye to eye to his policies, but I'm going to encourage him and make sure, you know, whatever we can do to make sure he is successful. That's encouraging. That's encouraging. Who have you encouraged today? How many people have you encouraged to take that next step, to start your business, to do your next promotion, to get that next whatever, to do that next X, Y, and Z? Encouraging is powerful. A servant will always make sure nothing negative comes between the goals and desires of the individual that they're serving. Why? Because they're going to encourage them to continue to move forward. A servant will give support, confidence, and hope to the person they are serving by encouraging, speaking good words, helping them out, lifting them. If you realize a theme in everything we're talking about in terms of servicing, it's talking about lifting or uplifting. It is such a powerful thing. Generous. Be generous with your time. Be generous with your money. I know that's like a touchy word when people say, be generous with my money. Oh, wait. I don't know about that. There was a young man that we had the opportunity that we've been mentoring, right? And there are times where he needs something. And it's not time, it's not this, it's not that, it's just actual money. Can't buy books or can't buy, you need physical money. And if his mom doesn't have it, then you may have to give 10, 20, 30, 50, or whatever it is to help the individual, because you're being generous in this term, but you also want to help that individual move forward. See, sometimes being generous may take away from the servant. When you're a servant, sometimes it may be something that it takes away. So, for example, if me and the individual that I'm mentoring and I'm referring to today, if we went to the movies and he don't have a job, he don't have any money, well, how do you think we're going to see the movies? I can't just pay for myself. So we have to pay for myself as well as him, right? Now, how would that take away from me? Because instead of paying $20 for the movies, I don't even know what the prices are now. Instead of paying $20 for the movies, now we got to pay $40. And we got to get, obviously you got to get something. He's going to want something to eat. So then we got to pay for something to eat, and on and on and on. Excuse me. So now when you take that, that's taking some extra funds out of our, out of my hands. But because we serve collectively, that also uplifts him, and now it allows him to see I can be generous with money and time and whatever. Does that make sense to you guys? It's powerful. It's powerful. Considerate. Last one. Considerate. Be considerate of individuals. As we serve people and society all over the world, we must always be considerate of their feelings and thoughts. A situation may arise where the decision that the individual is making may be wrong. We may understand that. But we have to be considerate of their feelings, their emotions, all of that, because they may not know that going right is absolutely wrong. They may have put all of their thoughts and dreams and everything on going right, and we have to make sure that we're considerate. So make sure as a servant, and what we're doing to be considerate is that we're doing everything in love and nothing but love. If we don't do it in love, then it can have a negative approach or a negative feel to that individual. So we want to make sure when we're being considerate, we're doing it in love and nothing but love. See, ladies and gentlemen, being a servant is so powerful. It is more to be a servant than it is to actually be where or doing something else, right? When you're serving and uplifting individuals, it becomes very, very powerful. See, even as we continue to move forward, this is the second of 10 presentations and webinars we're going to do for people, we're continuously serving as a group. As a matter of fact, on this Sunday, December the 18th, we're going to talk about how to live with peace and love. Listen to that. Peace and love. Not just love without peace, not just peace without love, peace and love, right? So who's going to be doing this phenomenal opportunity? And who's going to be the actual speaker? Actually, it's going to be the one and only Mr. Sam Oram. Now, guys, a lot of people may not understand this about Mr. Oram, but if you think about this, he has such a tremendous heart that he decided to put everything aside to do these webinars and I Control My Life series for anyone. This is not just say, let's do this for one voice and we're just going to do this for a couple of cousins. Or this is for everyone. Guys, we talked about it early about not being selfish. We have to invite more people to hear the wisdom of this gentleman. Not just because he has money, not just because he's nice, not because any of that, but because we all need this. How to live in peace and love. If you think about this, I heard today on CNN, they were talking about people sending texts out from Aleppo about this may be my last opportunity to communicate with the world because I don't know if we're going to be killed or not. So he's going to be literally talking about how to live with peace and love. Guys, find 5 people to invite on the call on Sunday. This is going to be one of the most impactful conversations and teachings and presentations that he's going to do. Why? Because it's going to be coming from the depths of his heart, because he have a heart for people. I don't care how much, how, where, whatever. Make sure Sunday, December the 18th at 7 p.m., you can go to the onevoiceworldwide.com site, click on event, and go to Sunday's date. It's already there. Click on that and register. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm telling you, it is going to be something spectacular. So whatever we have to do, let's go and make that happen and make things go in the direction where we want it to go, so we can continue to control our lives. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention, your time, and your love. With that being said, we're going to close out this presentation. I love you guys. Go and register, and we will see you on Sunday. God bless, and have a powerful evening. Good night.